Hi everybody, thank you for joining in with Eating Love. My name is Auset and today we will be making magic squares.
If you'd like to follow along with this video, you can see the recipe by clicking the link below and subscribing. And at the link, you'll have access to my website and the recipe, as well as other recipes and more videos.
So these are vegan and free, and it's just like, the magic squares you normally see, except instead of using like flour and eggs, and using purple sweet potatoes. So first, let's add the coconut oil and coconut sugar and cane sugar. So I would prefer to just use coconut sugar because it's just a healthier sugar to consume. But the coconut sugar, it's brown, and so the color of the purple sweet potato is not as bright. So I'm just adding like half coconut sugar and half dehydrated cane sugar. So we're going to be using 100 grams of coconut oil. Using 125 grams of cane sugar and 125 grams of coconut sugar. I wish I could use coconut sugar for a lot of things. Like I said, it's just, it's brown, so we'll be using like dark brown sugar for things that just don't make sense. Like for my coconut cream for the carrot cake, I can't use coconut sugar for that. I have to use cane sugar. Otherwise, it will. I'm actually making a mistake doing that. And it's just like brown. It's just like a little bit. It's nice. So we're gonna let this mix until it's well incorporated. So it'll take a little bit of time. I'd say about like 5 minutes. It shouldn't take more than that. I have this on level 2. Let that go. In the meantime, I'm going to finish peeling my sweet potatoes. So these are the sweet potatoes. It's not a lot. I have smaller ones in the middle, a bigger one on the outside, and that's on my bigger spot. Just touch it. If you cook them for too long, I noticed, if you cook them for too long, they'll get dried out. I guess that's just common sense. So do be careful. That way go over. And this is what they look like when they're peeled. Some are going to be super bright and purple, and some will look, not so bright and purple like this. And this is a really good one. It's like pretty great. Got my very handy dandy pointy offset. You see my other videos. I love offsets. I really do. So while that's going, I'm going to do this. So I love using sweet potatoes as a base for brownies because they help to add a really great natural sweetness to it without having to use sugar. But it's also they're relatively dense as well. These are a little bit lighter. They don't have chocolate in the mix. You have chocolate on top, chocolate chips on top, but just no chocolate in the mix, and that'll make it a bit more dense and richer flavor. So these are a little bit lighter, but they're still fun and really yummy. So really good. So in case you guys are wondering why anything carrot or anything carrot, which is fine. I just want to share anyway why I make vegan and gluten-free baked goods. And it's mainly for health reasons. When I was a teenager, I would get styes in my eyes quite, I don't say often, but more often than one would like. And to the point where I'd have to get like surgery to get styes in my eye taken out. So it'd be like upper lid, mainly my right eye. And then once when I was like 18 or 19, it was like my lower lid. And I eventually learned that it was from consuming dairy. So drinking milk or and then also cheese. And I had a really bad experience when I was living in India, I had a sty in my eye, and the sty developed while I was like on the plane to India. The sty developed while I was on the plane to India, and I know now what to do to take care of a sty. It's like a warm compress, don't consume any dairy, drink some high bright tea, stuff like this. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't take care of it when I landed. And so it was just there for like, and it was like not cute. So I finally got it taken out, and then this perfect story. But during that process, the anesthesia didn't go through, and so I felt everything. It was horrible. So as soon as I feel myself becoming congested, so now I don't drink milk for any particular reason, but the only time I would is if I'm eating ice cream at a restaurant, and even if I'm buying it for home, I just buy vegan ice cream, to be completely honest. Like I personally don't purchase dairy ice creams. And so even now, since how many years now since I had a side? I would say it's been about 10 years, and I recently had a side because I was consuming cheese where I work with they make pizza. So I don't eat the wheat, I don't eat the bread. I just literally take the cheese and the vegetables off the pizza, and I eat it. And I got a sty in my eye, and it was like the worst that I've ever, my eye blew up. It looked like somebody punched me in the eye. It was pretty bad. And I'm just like, okay, well, there's just another reason why I cannot consume dairy. I guess you don't fuck around anymore. So the whole purpose for me making these gluten-free recipes, I mean, this is, recently, so it's not like I just recently decided to make them. It's no, it's something that I'm very well aware of, that my body just can't handle it anymore. And I just really can't fuck around and need to just cut it out. Cheese, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like a hardcore vegan. I do eat meat, I eat chicken, fish, I don't eat pork and stuff like that. But love me some cheese, so it's hard, but it's not worth it, because you can't be walking around like a fucking big ass sty in your eye. It's just when you know you just shouldn't be. When you know different reasons. Anyway. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to produce vegan gluten-free baked goods. And then with the gluten-free, I just have a gluten sensitivity. I don't have celiac or anything like that. But I noticed that when I consume baked goods that have a mix of wheat, flour, sugar, butter, eggs, I just feel I feel sick. I don't feel great when I eat it. It just doesn't really feel like I want to eat more, but it has sugar in it, so your body thinks you want to eat more. The brain identifies sugar the same way that it does cocaine, so it's an addiction. Sugar's an addiction. It's looking good. I'm gonna weigh the sweet potato. It's at 450 grams. Okay, so before we have the sweet potato, let's just make sure everything's. That's sweet potato. I've actually got some purple sweet potato baking in the oven right now. Let's get the almond flour and the oat flour. So we're going to be adding 250 grams of almond flour. And then we're using 50 grams of oat flour. So like I mentioned before in my previous videos, I make my own oat flour, but I don't have time for today, so I'm using my backup store-bought oat flour. And I have to do that in these cases when I just do it, which is fine. It's, $5 on the drink, but that's okay. Okay. And then we've got 50 grams of tapioca flour. Right, so back to the flour and the other stuff. I just feel sick, and it's more noticeable, I find, when you take time off from eating these things. Like, I don't know, take a week or two, and just not eating any baked good that has flour or sugar or dairy, and you will absolutely notice a difference. And I had just done that, not by choice, just by accident. I ate something, and I was just like, after 2 weeks or whatever amount of time it was, and I'm just like, well, I feel like shit. And now, it's like almost immediately, like, it doesn't take much time to notice that there's something my body's consuming that it isn't liking. And I guess because I've also just generally just been eating my baked goods that are good, but I also just produce baked goods that have wheat flour and sugar, all that stuff in it, just to make like a wider range and just to balance my food costs as well and my business. So then we're gonna add a teaspoon and a half a tablespoon of baking powder, and we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. If you know what I'm talking about, I mean, like, everybody's body is different, so maybe you don't feel like shit after you eat something like, coffee cake or a sticky one. Lucky you. But yeah, I mean, just take a break, see what happens when you come back to it, and if your body rejects it, or if it's just like, yeah, no, this is good. It depends on like what the purple sweet potato looks like. Sometimes it'll be brighter than this, sometimes it'll be a little bit dull. And like I said, because I'm adding the coconut sugar, I'm gonna do a couple teaspoons. Yeah, that's about it. As with the sweet potato brownie, the most work is letting the sweet potatoes bake and letting the brownie itself that kind of do it as well. But putting it together is quite simple. It doesn't take much, honestly. It's great. And I feel like this is even easier. The sweet potato brownie, I feel it's a bit challenging to spread. It's just so dense. This is significantly easier to spread. And it's a bit rustic because you've got it. And now we're going to get the cookies on top. So we want 1 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. We're going to use a total of half a cup of sugar coconut, but so I'm going to put a 1/4 of the cup in the goodie mix, and then put the other 1/4 of the cup on the very top, just so that like it kind of blends in well. It looks nicer when there's like coconut scattered on top. Kind of like when the snow is like freshly fallen before it gets messed up. Then we got sliced almonds, half a cup of that. It's good. And then we want chopped walnuts, also 1 cup. And then let's put that other 1/4 cup of the coconut aside so that we're ready. And that's actually it. This is pretty much all that we got to do. Right here in this bowl, I've got 1 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, and I have half a cup of sliced almonds, and I have also half a cup of chopped walnuts. Make sure that they're chopped before you put them in, because that'll be next, and you can't really chop the walnuts if they're mixed with everything. And then I've got, so just a total of a half cup of shredded coconut, but so you want to add a 1/4 cup of shredded coconut into the mix first, and then you want to have the other 1/4 cup on top to sprinkle it. So it's just like, it just looks nicer with just like a little bit of shredded coconut on top. So I've got that on the side here. Just give it a little toss. So the base is done. Like, it really doesn't take. This is a pretty simple recipe. Like, it's pretty easy. I like things to be simple and not to take a lot of time. So another reason why I don't like consuming wheat is because it just makes me feel really bloated. Just like with wine, or beer, like, not with wine, but I prefer drinking wine because beer is just like, beer and bread are pretty much the same. And I don't like feeling bloated. It's not to say that I don't ever eat, bread or anything, pizza or anything like that. Like, I'm not like a hardcore non-gluten, vegan only. Like, I would say I wish, like, I want to live. But I pick and choose, essentially. It's all about moderation, really, at the end of the day. But I need to keep that dairy very lightly moderate because that eye is not looking. I'll show a photo so you can see, like, it was not attractive. It was not. I can't be walking around like that. Thank you. Got my tray ready. Spray it down. Spray the tray down with some fan spray and then line it with parchment paper. So I'm just going to spread this out. And spread so much more easily. It's like that. I see little bits of coconut, and if you see that, that's fine. It's cold, so the coconut is firmer. So don't expect it to be like no bits. You're gonna see some, and that's okay. But you do want to make sure that when you are mixing the coconut and the sugars, that it's mixed well. You don't want to actually see them, and you won't see it in that mix in the first stage. But once you have add the sweet potato basket and the flours. So right now I'm just doing like a very rustic spread because, like I mentioned, I'm going to pour the goodies on top and kind of like spread the goodies into the dough, mainly so that it they aren't just like falling off the brownie when you cut it. That's really why I'm doing that. So as you can see, this looks like brown. And now it's just sprinkle it on top. And we're going to smooth it out. And it's going to be like a nice wave of, goodies and brownies. And I must say, the less that I eat baked goods with wheat, flour, sugar, dairy, like the less that I crave them. So I used to have like a really big sweet tooth. And sometimes, it'll come and go just for whatever reason. Not even because of my tooth. Like, it's nothing to do with that anymore. But I'm just definitely a lot more conscientious of kinds of baked goods. I'll just, like, if anything, always have something that I make at home, of course. I don't make these things for me. I make it for other people. But I noticed that my desire to consume sugar has significantly lessened. And my tolerance for sugar as well. Like, I noticed that some things that didn't used to be so sweet are now just like, what? I just eat it all. So yeah, you just want to spread it. Just flatten it. At this point, really, you're just flattening it. And you want to see, like, bits of the brownie batter on top. Now, I'm just gonna add 1/4 cup of shredded coconut. So it looks fine, but the coconut on top is kind of hides a little bit, so just inconsistent. This makes it look a little more uniform. Now we're gonna go put this in the oven. It's gonna bake in the oven at 350 degrees for a total of 42 minutes. At 21 minutes, you turn it around, rotate it, and right back. So we're turning this one off. Let's take a look at the magic square. Nice. It's ready. Nice. Yep, that's hot. Just gonna let it cool. That's ready to go. So these are the magic squares, and this is the full tray. Makes 24 pieces, and this is the recipe that I gave y'all for. Obviously, like they don't come like this. This is already cut. 12 pieces, and as you can see, they're pretty jam-packed with stuff. And like I mentioned, you see like the little rivets, a little bays, and you see like in there, it's like really yummy, super handy. So I'm gonna have one. And then I gotta run my salsa class tonight. If you guys enjoy this recipe, just so you know, I love it. You don't like the brownies. It's like no good. If you're interested in more recipes like this, please subscribe and click on the link below. And also follow along with the recipe. I click on the links on my website, and there you go find more recipes, etc. And I really hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining. See you later.